Hello everyone, this is Rakesh Negi and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Aviator Updates. So today I'm going to discuss about Enroute failure cases which come under the heading Enroute limitations. So here I'll be discussing about the potential problems in flight. So before operating on a new route, one should make sure that he has carefully studied about the potential problems in flight. And these potential problems are engine failure or pressurization loss. So these potential problems can seriously impact the flight altitudes and thereby become very much constraining over the mountainous areas. So I'll first begin with engine failure in flight and then we'll discuss about the pressurization loss in flight. So let's start. Whenever an engine fails in flight, then the remaining thrust is no more sufficient to balance the drag force and to maintain the adequate cruising speed. Though the engines would be pushed in their maximum continuous thrust power, that is MCT, but the thrust available or thrust remaining is not sufficient to fly the aircraft in initial altitude. That is, the thrust required or the thrust necessary, it suddenly becomes greater than the remaining thrust or available thrust. So the only solution available in this case is to descend to an appropriate level where the required thrust will be equal to the available thrust, and this will allow the aircraft to level off. So I hope you are clear with engine failure in flight. Next, let's talk about the pressurization loss or failure in flight. So in case of pressurization loss in flight, descent is also mandatory. Again, the aircraft need to descend. And this is dictated by the oxygen system constraint and not by the performance constraint. One should know that at the initial cruising altitude, the rate or pressure of oxygen is not sufficient to allow the passengers or cabin members to breathe. Hence, an oxygen system is installed in the aircraft or is required in the aircraft. In the aircraft, the oxygen flow rate is limited to a maximum duration as the oxygen need to feed the entire cabin. So note that any route study is very important. So one should note that any new route study is very much important and it should be done as per the airworthiness requirements. Remember that the descent cannot be always operated in the same conditions as the aircraft sometimes flies over mountainous areas. That's why a route study is very important to evaluate whether or not an acceptable escape procedure is possible when a failure occurs at a worst moment in flight. If it is possible, it must be clearly defined and indicated to the pilots, and if it is not possible, then a new route must be found. So I hope you have understood the engine failure in flight and pressurization loss in flight briefly. In both the cases, what is important is descend to a lower level. So I hope you have noted this. So I'll come up again with a new video next time. Till then, stay tuned. Bye.